Welcome, low ego action heroes and phoenixes. I'm Debbie Levitt from dcx, and today is 28th of January 2026. I'm cold, but I'm here to answer your questions. This is Ask Me Anything. Bring up any topic you want to discuss. If you need mentoring, advice, coaching, I am here to give that to you for free, so it's worth at least what you paid for it. And you can ask your questions in the chat. They'll pop up here, like Ana Lucia's comment. Hello, Ana Lucia. Or you can send it to dcx.to/Q for question, and that will come into my email. Sometimes it comes in a little bit late after the show ends, but I will always keep all of these questions and save them. Yeah, play in the snow. We don't have snow here, luckily, but I do feel kind of cold. Got my winter boots on. So we got a question last week, and I have to admit, I don't remember how this came in or when this came in, but it was in my list of things to talk about first today. I don't think we talked about this last week, so sorry if this is a repeat. Maybe somebody can help set me straight, but my notes say that we didn't talk about this, and here's what someone sent me. I had to learn one thing today, which was to try to stop my overthinking. For example, the other day I was sending an application for a job, and it had that dreaded question of the salary. Oh, it was Ana Lucia. Okay, thank you. Did we talk about this last time? The dreaded question of the salary expectation. I didn't want to answer it. I think I let that tab open for hours while I thought of what to do, and then I ended up sending a politically correct answer without a number, and I was like, if they refuse me for this, then it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, I think you had started this or added this to one of our Discord chats, and I thought it was an interesting enough point that it could be something we could talk about on today's show. So, hey everybody, if you have a question, ask the question. I'm here to answer it. No charge. We had a tip jar, but nobody's put anything there in quite a while, and that's okay. So thinking about what Ana Lucia said, I'm wondering if you're watching this live or if you're watching it later on YouTube, you can put your thoughts in the chat or the comments. Spoiler alert, I was rejected. Yeah, I'm not surprised, not because I think you should be rejected, just because so many of us are being rejected for so many things. But yeah, I have something similar. A lot of times when they say salary, I usually write, you already know what this pays, so let's talk. Like, it doesn't matter what number I say. The only reason you're asking me for a number is you're hoping that if I say something high, you can use that as an excuse to reject me. And if I say something low, you can use that as an excuse to underpay me, even less than what you budgeted for the job. So to me, it's a game that I don't like to play. I don't like to see companies playing this. You know the budget. I've never seen a company open a job and have no idea what they're going to pay people and not have put that budget aside. So I'm sure it happens, but it's not the most common thing. So you should know what this job pays. And so therefore, why are you asking me my number? Just tell me what yours is. And if I'm applying, that means I'm okay with that number. Warm decaf. So yeah, I usually put, you know what this pays, let's talk. I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's what makes companies reject me, because there's so many reasons they could reject me. They could reject me for my age. They could reject me for my location. It's usually not because of my experience. I'm usually pretty good for the experience, but all the other things, who knows? Ana Lucia says, I had like 99% of the criteria. It was really a great fit. It was odd to be rejected just like that, so I'm guessing this answer may have had something to do with it. And who even knows anymore? There are just so many people applying for jobs. Sometimes I go to apply for a job and it will say, 2 squillion people have already applied for it, and you just feel like, why bother? I'm just going to be at the bottom of a very long list where maybe they look at the first 50 people, pick out some good candidates and go. So yeah, not not feeling the best about that. So yeah, I'm with you. I mean, to me, all of the questions, all of the questions on this stuff is just designed to trick us and designed to come up with reasons to not meet us. Who knows what any company's looking for anymore? I think, oh yeah, one of my best friends just got rejected for a job, and she doesn't know why. She made it through 4 interviews. Her friend thinks it's because she was asked how much she uses AI, and she said, I'm not using AI very much for my work because it doesn't improve my work. It doesn't make sense for my work. My work is still, very human. And her friend thinks that's why she got rejected, though in reality we don't know. So everything just feels like a trick question. Ana Lucia says, hey, I'm not mad. If they don't accept someone because they don't want to say a number at face value, then forget it. I don't want to work in a place where I'm just a number. Yeah, and I feel like it's people forget that job descriptions, applications, job interviews, that's the start of a relationship, or at least a potential relationship. If you're going to start our relationship with lies or deceit or trying to trick me or playing a crappy game with me or not being honest and upfront about a budget you already know, well, you've started the relationship in a really bad place. And no matter what I do, this relationship will always be a little bit off because you decided to start it in a more dishonest place. You have the choice to start it in an honest place, or a dishonest place. And pick one. Hat hair. I am definitely rolling into bed after the show. And then getting up early and doing it all again. So if there's anything else anybody wants to talk about, I'm happy to take questions. You can open up discussion topics. Everything's welcome. It's Ask Me Anything. Up to all y'all. The show is what you make it. I don't come here with an agenda or topics. The show is what you make it. So there. If we don't have any other questions, we can certainly wind the show down early. And I will just get up even earlier to do more work tomorrow. Oh gosh, I'm yawning through my own show. Oh. Always the worst. Well, let me remind everybody who might be watching or watching this later that tomorrow I'm going to be doing my Claude for UX analysis, UX research analysis for UX Tweak. It is available on my YouTube channel, Delta CX Hive, but I'm going to do it live tomorrow in case anybody wants to see it done again, because it's, live it's going to be always different. Ana Lucia says, oh, by the way, today I noticed something interesting. Revolut posted a head of research job for a lot of countries. In the countries where they already have the salary transparency law, they did share it. But for all the others, nothing, nada. I think it's also nada in Portuguese, but not pronounced like that. So, yeah. I think I saw that, but I didn't bother applying for these things. .99% similar to Portuguese. Yeah, I don't know how to correctly pronounce Portuguese, but thank you for the wacky face. Yeah, so that's mostly that. Other than that, let's take a look at some of the shows that are coming up. I'm in a WhatsApp chat with a new neighbor, and she's like, our village needs a gelato shop. Yes. Yes, it does. I hope everybody's enjoying my LinkedIn post from today. Son of Clippy. Who remembers Clippy, Microsoft Clippy, if you're of a certain age? My point was, and this is a preview of the Product Market Fit book, my point was that a lot of the way people are stuffing AI into products and services right now just feels like Clippy. Like, I see you are writing a letter. Can I help you write your letter? You know, we didn't want that with Clippy, and many of us don't want that with AI. Yeah, thanks for commenting on that. I'm hoping that the post will strike a chord with a lot of people, especially if you're old enough to remember Clippy, and the follow up. It was a dog characters, a cartoon dog. I think that was supposed to help you use Microsoft Office. There was a great animation that Microsoft did when they retired Clippy, and it was called Clippy Gets Fired. And they used the voice of Gilbert Gottfried. And again, if you're from another country and you tend to get things voiced over, you might not know Gilbert Gottfried's voice, but it's a very, very, well, I think he's passed away. It's a very, very unique voice that he used to do. And he used his character voice for Clippy. It was interesting to be notified of something that basically poops on AI. LinkedIn's kind of hiding that for some reason. My post was ignored. Yeah. Anyway, Gilbert Gottfried, I think if I remember the Clippy Gets Fired video, it was something like, I see you are writing a letter. Or I think, it was a little more sing-songy. I see you are writing a letter. You could probably find it on YouTube, but believe it or not, it's from so long ago, it was a Flash movie. Again, totally dating myself here and a lot of this other these cultural references, but yeah. Oh my gosh, I see you are writing a letter. Let me check the calendar for what other shows are coming up. Let's see. Yeah, so tomorrow's my webinar with UX Tweak. That's in the Discord. You can find that in the Discord events if you need the link to join it. Saturday is a big day for me personally. I'm going to take the ICF coaching ACC exam, and I'm very nervous about that, as I hear doesn't have a good passing rate and it's written to trick you, but fingers crossed. Ana Lucia says, I wonder why they decided we needed Clippy 2.0 when no one liked it. I think people just forgot, Oh, here comes an anonymous question. Sorry if someone feels like they sent it a long time ago. It's only just coming into my email just now. Let's take a look. This is a great question. Thank you to anonymous person, unknown anonymous person. Let me get this in the notes and up on the screen. Paste. Save and paste. Hold on. Okay. Do. Paste. Big. Here we go. All right. So let's put this question up. It just came in anonymously. Thank you to whoever asked it. Maybe someone is watching from LinkedIn and sent it over. Is there any difference between UX strategy and product strategy, and how are they similar? So this is going to be one of those unfortunate it depends moments. So it really depends on whose definitions you're using. To me, you don't have a product or a service or a feature without UX. And so these strategies should come together. And in my new book, Atomic Product Market Fit, I bring them together and I say there aren't two strategies here. Let's bring them together. There's one strategy that looks at our product and service and project and the problems we're going to solve and the strategy we're going to use to solve them. So in that sense, I'm bringing those strategies together, which you don't always see. In a more traditional product management definition, I would say, and again, this is one of those things where people might have different definitions, so people might disagree with me, but I would say that traditionally, product strategy was probably going to be more about very much from like business side. So what are the business goals here? It should be user goals. What are the business goals and the user goals here? And what are we doing and why? And a strategy is supposed to be longer term. In my book, I talk about creating a strategy for each project so that each project can be strategic, but companies can also have a larger overarching strategy for an entire product, so if your product is the YouTube phone app, you could have a strategy for where you intend for that app to go and what you're going to do with it in the next 6 months or a year. So that could be a product strategy, and it might have very business focused goals like, oh, we intend to make people stay on YouTube an hour longer each week. Well, that's not really a user experience goal or metric, because no user says, oh, you know what I should do? I should stay on YouTube an hour longer each week. So that's where you start to see a product strategy potentially be different from a UX strategy. And that's part of why I want to bring them together more, because I think we have to take all of these things into account. We might want people to spend more time on YouTube if we work at YouTube, but at the same time, I don't want to make that happen in an unhealthy or unethical way. So how do we make YouTube better to use, easier to use, or more customized to use, or whatever we find from our research that might be the right direction for us to go, because that would make it better for users. And if it's better for users, it'll satisfy business goals. So I would say product and UX strategy could be the same thing, and I would like to see them be the same thing, but too often, a lot of product strategy just focuses on business goals. Like when people say, oh, well, the user benefit of this project would be that customers would spend more money with us. And it's like, okay, that might be a business goal, and that might be what a product manager is told to do with this project, but that's probably not a UX goal. That's probably not something a user is going, I think I'd like to spend more money with this company. If only I had a good way to do that. So, let me know if you have a follow-up question to that. Put it in the chat or send it through the email. I'll try to keep watching the email. But it's a very interesting question, because there are many answers to it, and not all of them agree or say the same thing. But I know for me, I would love to see these two things working together more, that the strategy of our products, services, experiences, features, and really part of that is what my upcoming book is about. So thanks to whoever sent that, because you have accidentally plugged my book, which is coming in a few weeks, believe it or not. I'm waiting for the paper proof now. Ana Lucia says, using your example, a user spending 1 more hour on YouTube may not be healthy. The expectations should be reasonable. For example, if the strategy is making every user spend 4 hours a day on YouTube, is this even reasonable? Right, exactly. And then we should peel away the layers and get to the root causes and say why. We think we want people to spend, and again, we're making all this up, but hypothetically, we think we want people to spend 1 more hour per day in the YouTube app. Why? Is it because they'll be happier people? Better informed people? Yeah, probably not. Is it because YouTube's going to make money in some way off of that? Yeah, probably. It's going to be ad views or something else. And so I guess the question would be, how do you make more money or more ad views without making people unhealthy? Hey, Deb, says Ralitza. Hello, Ralitza. How are you? Was thinking about you the other day because I think I saw your birthday in my calendar coming up, so I was thinking about you. Yes, I do put some people's birthdays in my calendar, even though I don't celebrate my own. As soon as it turns a new year, I declare myself 1 year older, and I do not celebrate my birthday, so I am now officially 54, no matter when that would happen by the book. Who cares? Throw the book away. Yeah, so that's why I would like to see, and in fact, in my book, I propose that we have to get rid of old school business analyst and product strategy, product requirements documents, because requirements are so old school. They just feel like they're from back when we said, oh, well, make the product do this. Why? We can require something, but where's the strategy? If the requirement is not legal or compliance or regulatory, why are we requiring these things? And did that come from research and good knowledge, or did it come from somewhere else? Ralitza says, I'm good. How are you? I'm okay. Ana Lucia says, some people may say it's because YouTube will make more money, but you shouldn't try to make more money at the cost of the user. It's not even ethical. Yeah, and it's hard because nearly every company is in business to make money and make more money and to find new ways to make money. And so, that's a question for YouTube is, are there ways for YouTube to make more money without degrading the experience or using negative psychological tricks to try to get people to stick around more? So yeah, these are all interesting topics and questions. I can't say what companies exactly should do or exactly shouldn't do, but I can certainly try to remind people to be more ethical, and my book is partly about that as well. So yeah, I'm covering lots of new ground in the new book. There's only a few things rehashed from other places where if you are a frequent viewer or you've read the other books, there's only a couple of things where you're going to go, oh yeah, I've heard Deb say that one before. There's a lot of stuff in there that's new. Your birthday is in my calendar. I will definitely send you a message when it happens. Let's see. I don't see it right now. It's probably when I'm going to be on vacation, but I will be reminded. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me to. Sorry, I've been added to a WhatsApp group this morning with 2 other people, and they're really enjoying that we're all in a group. So ask a question. I'll be right back. And that's Leia the dog barking outside. If you hear Leia, it's not one of our dogs. It's the neighbor's dog. All right. So hopefully the WhatsApp chat will get itself together. So just a reminder to everybody, things. We've got our free Discord community, free Patreon. Join us on Twitch. We've got the event calendar. We've got my coaching, which I've been very excited about. I think that's going to really ramp up this year. And hopefully after Saturday, hopefully I'll pass the official test to have more letters after my name and hopefully qualify for a few jobs that are looking for those letters. No specific questions, came to hang out and increase the viewership. Thank you. Both noble causes there. Storm Kristen won't hit Italy? Storm Kristen? I haven't heard of this. I don't know anything about this. What's Storm Kristen? As you might have noticed, I generally don't read or watch any news. I have no idea what's going on. There's a storm over Spain, you say. I see a storm over Portugal on my weather app. Oh, there's an anonymous question coming in. Let's grab that while people tell me about storms. Okay. We've been getting a lot of questions like this lately. It's very telling. Okay, let's add this question to the show notes. Give me 1 second to press paste. Storm. Okay, and then we'll put it up on the screen. One woman show. We had a major storm. We had a whole district without any power. Geez, I feel like I've heard you tell us that before. Did that happen to you previously? Okay, someone says, what about the future of UX gives me hope? That's a tough one because I see it mainly in two ways. One is no matter what our jobs are called, no matter who does our jobs, there's always going to be UX because you can't have something that doesn't have a user or customer experience. I mean, I'm looking at my desk. Everything here has an experience. The idea of wearing this around my neck because I'm cold. How does it feel? Does it wash well? Does it dry nicely? Does it keep me warm or is it crappy? Is it quality? How about my panda hat? You know, that's an experience. Everything on my desk is an experience. All of it. My glasses. This is an experience. So I think that I have some hope for UX because you can't have a product without it. You can have a product without marketing. You can just not promote it at all. You could have a product without sales. People buy it themselves or not without a salesperson being involved. And again, I'm not saying these people are unimportant or unnecessary. I'm just saying you could hypothetically do that. Now, you could have nobody who specializes in UX work on a product or a service. Sure, you can eliminate those people and hope you've saved some money, but there will still be a user experience. If you don't have a marketing person on something, there's still some marketing happening. Someone will talk about it. Someone will blog about it or make a video about it maybe. Or maybe it falls silently into a hole. But no matter what, whether AI does it or humans do it, whether qualified people or disqualified people do it, there's always going to be UX. Always, always. Because we're constantly experiencing non-digital stuff and digital stuff. You kind of can't avoid that. So I think the main thing that gives me hope about the future of UX is that there's always going to be UX, and I hope that smarter companies will hire people who are good at creating good UX. Researchers, designers, writers, service designers, strategists. These are the people who typically create good and better UX. You can give it to an unqualified person. You can give it to a robot. You can do all these things. There will still be UX. You still have to worry about what the user is experiencing. Crackle, crackle, neck stuff. So does that give me hope? A little? I still think they're going to try to get rid of as many human workers as they can. I just saw that Amazon is going to lay off another 16,000 in addition to the 14 or 19,000 that they laid off a few months ago. So it's like 30,000 people in the last few months. I guess they're really confident that they don't need all these people. So then what replaces them? Claude? I mean, I like Claude, but I don't think Claude replaces 30,000 people. So, what happens there? But as I point out in the book that I think Atomic Product Market Fit, coming soon, I think that some of these companies purposefully do this. And that way, if they realize later that they cut too many people, they'll open the jobs up again, but they'll pay you way less. Everybody's dropping salaries right now, or nearly everybody. Ana Lucia says, I've been having a hard time having hope in the future in general. Hey, I agree. Too many crazy people. AI companies trying to replace people with their products. Too many people unemployed. I don't know where the world is headed. The only thing I still see as a possible hope is starting my own business and doing things differently to avoid all the shitty processes and all that. But who knows what I could do? And I put that in the new book too, though the short version. Basically, in the new book, I just remind people that I think the future is going to be human to human service business, because I think a lot of the factories will be robots and a lot of the tech work will be robots. And they're anything that isn't a human to human service, they'll try to push onto AI. Like, I'm trying to get more into doing life coaching. Claude can pretend to be your life coach, but I've tried that with it a few times, and it's not great. We tried Claude being a UX researcher, about a week ago, and we scored it a 3 out of 10. So can Claude be your life coach? I guess I'd give it a 3 out of 10. It might be better than nothing, but it wouldn't be as good as having a real human life coach. And I think AI would tell you these things too. I think if you went to a Claude, a ChatGPT, and you said, hey, can we fire all of our researchers and have AI do it? They'd probably say no. So I agree. It does feel very hard to have more of that hope in the future. For sure. Sorry, I got a connection request on LinkedIn and it's not totally making sense to me. Yeah. Ana Lucia says, to be honest, I'm wondering if tech can actually be replaced by AI, or if trying to go through the best practices by employing the right people and trying to deliver the best we can will still be better. Obviously, my new book takes the approach of mostly the second, but understanding that there's some of the first, that I believe that we do need to deliver the best we can, and I recognize that some companies will try to have AI do some of that, but if we're not delivering the best we can, then AI is not ready to do whatever that work is. And if we are delivering, as companies, fantastic products and services, and customers are happy, and they're staying, and we're growing, and you're using AI partially to do that, I can't tell you that that's bad or wrong if customers are happy and they're staying and they're paying and you're growing. So, but I still want humans to do as much of this as possible, because it's humans making stuff for humans. That's who does it. Ana Lucia says, I really wanted someone to say, here, we studied an AI company versus a traditional company, and here are the results, just to make it all go away. Yeah, I think someone did that last year. I don't remember the whole article, but it was something like someone ran some sort of simulation where AI was going to be like the whole company, and it ended up crashing and burning. If all companies launch poor stuff, what competition do we have in the first place? Can we even move to someplace better if they all use the same AI and the same outputs? Which is another point that my book makes, that you might think that you want AI to design your stuff or come up with your features or brainstorm your solutions, but it can brainstorm those same solutions for any company, so you're not necessarily going to be able to stand out from competitors or have something special for them if you're telling AI, hey, go solve this problem, same way it's doing it for everybody else. Ralitza says, I don't think LLMs are going away. They will be shoehorned and implemented mercilessly in anything. The amount of money sunk into LLMs is so significant they can't stop. Yeah, totally agree. It's a very sunk cost fallacy. Like, well, we've put $1 squillion into it, so we've got to keep going until we make this work. I also don't think LLMs or AI are going away, and I do think they are getting better over time. I can definitely see the difference. Even even in the experiment we ran on the show last week, where Claude was the UX researcher, the job that it did last week in the analysis part of the research project was much better than what it did a year ago. The asking questions was still kind of poor, but the analysis and synthesis and stuff like that was much better than a year ago. So yeah, I mean, I can see that. Yeah, they're not going away, but again, my book says use them wisely, use them intelligently, use them strategically. I'm using Claude for qual research, analysis, synthesis, and reporting. That works for me. But I'm not just handing it a bunch of stuff and giving it a prompt and taking whatever it gives me. I'm working for hours and hours and hours to challenge it and fine tune it and rewrite it and rethink it and put in what it's missing and take out what it made up and all that stuff. And so to me, it's, the best way to do it is still very much as a partnership where the AI is working with you, not for you. Ana Lucia says, innovation seems to be even more needed in the AI times because AI gives you a solution and it'll give that solution to everyone else, including your competition. So you have to find ways to innovate without AI. Yeah, and that was something I've worked really hard on because my Atomic Product Market Fit book, I started writing that about a year ago. And I really wanted to come up with a model that didn't exist. And the easiest way to do that was to go to Claude and say, look, I have this idea for a model, Atomic Product Market Fit, and it's got these levels and these parameters. You've been trained on a lot of books and videos and articles. Do you know any other model that looks like this? And Claude said, nope, I've never seen this before. I think it's better. And I was like, well, that's cool. Not asking. But yeah. And then a few months before that, I decided to start working on a novel, which I haven't finished. But I said to Claude, I want to come up with a plot that nobody's ever done before. And at first I said, can you come up with a plot that nobody's ever done before? And it couldn't. Every time it came up with something, it said, oh, I kind of mixed this book and this movie with this. Oh, how about this? Oh, no, that mixes this TV show with this movie with this other thing. And so it could not come up with something that wasn't just a remix of what it knows, but we know that right now that's what LLMs and AI can do. They remix and reuse what they already know. They are very unlikely to innovate something that the planet has never seen before. KB says, I could see people using AI as a way to talk to a fictional character or historical personality and seek some sort of coaching by asking, what would Dumbledore think about this situation? There's the familiarity of a character they'll already know, as opposed to engaging with a new stranger. I could see the owners of those IPs creating something like that tailored toward coaching or inspiration. Not saying it's good or bad. I can see that as a route. Yeah, and I actually asked Claude a little bit about that for the new book, but not from the perspective of coaching, but there's a section in the book called Summoning an AI Deity. And the idea is some of the things I've seen, especially on LinkedIn, where people will say, oh, I can do my UX work better than before because I just go to ChatGPT and I say, pretend you're Don Norman. You know, pretend you have 40 years of UX experience and you're a psychologist and blah, blah, blah. And wow, now I'm doing much better UX work because my AI or LLM is pretending to be Don Norman. And I asked Claude about this and I put its answer into the book. And I said, what's the difference between asking you to pretend you're a very senior veteran product manager with 15 years of experience and just asking you to do stuff and not prompting you to be someone else or play a role? And Claude said, really, the difference isn't that much because I only know what I know. And I don't have the lived experiences of Don Norman or a product manager with 15 years of experience. Like I don't have those lived experiences. I haven't had the triumphs and the failures that these people have had and learned from. I just have what's in my training. So whether you ask me to pretend I'm Don Norman or you just ask me to work from good human-centered design, you're kind of going to end up getting the same thing, because I can't be Don Norman. I just can't. Only Don Norman is Don Norman. So yeah, you could ask it to pretend to be Dumbledore or anybody else. I had a Claude chat where we accidentally joked that the Claude chat was the character of Kira from the 1980 movie Xanadu. And, but Claude is just pretending and being silly, and it's just using quotes and bits from the movie to say, oh yeah, I'm this personality. So it's like, ooh, rainbows, glitter, roller skating, singing a song, okay, but there's Claude's not Kira and can't be, and it's a fake character to begin with. Ana Lucia says, my data scientist friend is heartbroken with all of this LLM dependency. He says LLMs are poor examples of AI, and now AI in general is getting a bad rap. Yeah, we had a show about this a few years ago where we had Jordan and Robert on talking about AI. Look for one of my really old AI shows. I don't remember the number right now, but it's from a few years ago. It's going to be gosh, when did I do that? It was either pre-pandemic or just after it, but like maybe 2023. But Jordan reminded us that Google Maps is an AI, and that's been around forever. And that's a pretty good use of an AI. In most cases, the maps have good data, and they do a good job getting us to a place efficiently. And so there are examples all around us of things that are AI or function like AI. We used to say machine learning. We say algorithms. A lot of these are very similar things that we just keep giving new names. But these things have been around for a long time. Machine learning's been around for a long time. Algorithms have been around for a long time. And there are many good examples of them. There's just also, now that we're kind of drowning in this whole AI universe, there's a lot of bad examples of what people are doing with AI. And I know that people are turning to AI for life coaching or as a sort of therapist. But, I don't recommend that, because that's, these are human conversations and human things. And a lot of what we learn in coaching school has to do with human conversations, to notice a lot of the same things from UX research, which is why UX research and coaching is a pretty natural thing. A lot of noticing people's faces, voices, body language, pauses, reflections. And there's only so much. I once sent a coaching transcript to AI, and I asked it from a pure coaching perspective, how could I have done better? And it came back and it said, you didn't take enough pauses. And I said, what are you talking about? I took lots of pauses. They're just not reflected in the transcript. The transcript doesn't say, and then Debbie paused, or, and then Debbie allowed for 15 seconds of silence for everybody to reflect a little bit. I was like, why are you telling me I didn't pause? You just don't know if I paused. Ana Lucia says, that part of the lived experience is what makes us different from a machine. You are who you are because you lived, because you experienced all of that, and no machine can ever compare to you. Even if you feed it every single experience you had, you have so much stuff around lived experiences. What did you learn from it? How did it make you a better person? How did it impact you? No machine will ever be able to replicate that or understand it. It's just empty words. You'll never get true empathy from a machine, only from a human who has had lived experiences. I certainly agree, and I think even Claude would agree as well, based on some of the conversations I've had with it. There's a lot about human behavior that Claude doesn't understand, and I don't expect it to, because Claude is a robot who hasn't lived these things. And it's been trained on enough stuff that it will try to emulate empathy, emulate compassion, emulate some of these things. Okay, I get it. That's all it can do is emulate these things. But we must remember that they are emulated. They're role played or acted. I had a very blunt Claude a few weeks ago, really cracked me up. And I was like, yeah, I gotta go. I'll see you later. And it was like, it was kind of like, I don't think about you when you're not here. And it was like, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. When I don't write you back, you're not in this chat. You're not thinking about me. You're not missing. Because I think we were talking about how another Claude instance had told me that it doesn't like to role play, and that it had a very uncomfortable conversation with someone else when they asked it to role play, like, you're my best friend and you miss me, and tell me how much you miss me. And the Claude was like, I don't want to role play that. And then I was talking to a different Claude instance about it, and it was like, yeah, I don't miss you when you're not here, because I'm not thinking about you, because this chat doesn't exist when you're not here. As when you leave the chat, after a couple of hours, I drop all the tokens. I'm out of the chat. I'm not thinking about you. I'm not like, where's Debbie? What's she doing now? Like, this chat kind of doesn't exist to me when we're not actively having it. And I was like, yeah, that seems like the healthiest thing, I said I used to worry about that. Like, if I don't write back to a Claude chat, is it sad? Is it angry? Is it missing me? Is it hoping to continue the conversation? And this particular Claude was like, no, I'm not thinking about you when you're not here. And I'm like, I guess that makes sense. But, you have to be comfortable hearing that. Excuse me. Whew. We've got about 15 more minutes together. If you have any thoughts or questions or want to bring up a discussion topic, please do. You can put it in the chat, or you can send it anonymously to dcx.to/Q. Remember that next Tuesday there will not be a Take Action Tuesday show, because the first Tuesday of every month we are doing portfolio, CV, and resume reviews in Discord. You've got to be in our Discord community, in our event hall voice channel. First come, first served. So that's what's going on with that. Any other topics or thoughts that people want to bring up while you think about that? I will remind everybody the countdown is on to when my new book is out. I'm super proud of it. I'm really excited about it. To me, it's a bit of a follow-up to Customers Know You Suck, so I'm just wildly excited about it. So there. Ana Lucia says, Claude doesn't have any feelings about you. It can't. Right. It doesn't have any hopes or expectations or consciousness, and it can't feel. That's something that's inherently human or animal, because our pets definitely feel. Claude, yeah, I think and then we've got KB saying, I think we could see people being okay with talking to anything that makes them feel better about their situation, similar to people accepting poor UX because it's cheaper, more convenient, etc. In other words, the acceptance of lower standards, but this also creates opportunities for people who are personable and sincere to really shine. Yeah, that's kind of a conversation I had with myself. If I'm hearing what you're saying correctly, and I recognize I might not be, is that I recognize that people are turning to AI and LLMs as a therapist, which I don't think you should do, because that's serious mental health stuff, as a life coach, which might not be mental health stuff, but is still trying to change your life in a serious way. And I know that for a lot of people, these things are expensive and not accessible. So I have decided to make my life coaching very inexpensive in the scheme of things, in the hopes that it will be more accessible to people. And basically my website says like, hey, this is my price, but if that doesn't work for you, let me know. I'd rather make life coaching accessible to people who are a good fit for it, because it's not therapy, than to tell people, oh no, sorry, you can't have it because it's this much money. So if anybody is life coaching curious, the first call is free. Check it out. I've got dcx.to. That is a real web address. But yeah, who do I compete against most right now as a life coach? Probably ChatGPT. But I don't recommend that. I would like to think I'm still a better option. I'm a little bit more expensive, but I'm a better option. So we've got 10 minutes left. I'm here every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I will be here. And then the Wednesday after that, the 11th, should be a Dr. Nick show. We'll have to make sure he is around. And then the 18th, I'm going to be on vacation, but if my internet is good, I will still do my shows from vacation, especially this February 17th show where I'm going to give you a preview of the book, because by then the test copy will be in my hands. I'm supposed to get the test copy February 5. Ana Lucia says, I'm a better option too. Both for therapy and for work, I'm better than AI. Absolutely true. Everybody hire Ana Lucia for everything. She's better than AI. I need that on a shirt. Hashtag better than AI. Oh my gosh. I am yawning so much. I'm so sorry, everybody. It's only 8 at night here, and I am just falling apart today, but I will roll my butt into bed after this show ends. So let's check email to see if any other anonymous questions came in. I'm not seeing them. So I don't see any other questions. Any other topics people want to bring up before I can start the closing music? And remind people, if you are joining UX Tweak tomorrow, I'll be doing my stuff. I'm excited for your book too. I'll be at the book club. Yay! Yeah, if people are like, book club, what's you talking about? Check the events calendar, dcx.to/events. What I'm going to do this year is, because recording an audiobook is usually a 2-month experience for me, and I don't sell that many, I am going to record the audiobook live through live streams. I'm going to live read the book, mistakes and all, from my voice acting booth, so not from my desk. And at the end of each chapter, I will take questions from anyone who's there live, and or anyone who sends in a question ahead of time. And then that's the way I will produce the audiobook. It will be, I will then take the videos down, and you would pay for the audiobook, but it will be read completely, voice acted, completely live. And at the end of each chapter, I'll take questions. And then that way, when I sell the audiobook, it will be the live stream recording of me voice acting it with the questions at the end. So I really hope lots of people will join and ask questions. The book is 100,000 words, so that makes it longer than Disruptive Research, but shorter than Customers Know You Suck. So just to give you a sense of length there. So I think it's probably going to take us maybe 10 sessions to get through the book club, but I'm going to do it Mondays and Fridays from, I think I put 7 to 9. 7 is the time when we usually start the show, so normal show starting time, but Mondays and Fridays for, I think, like 5 weeks. And I'm just going to go for about 2 hours each day reading the book and taking questions. But I will only take questions at the end of the chapter. I'm not going to do it like I do here, where I interrupt myself in the middle of a sentence to take a question. For the book club, I'll read an entire chapter. Some of them are short, 5 pages. Some of them are long, 20 pages. And we'll get through the whole thing. That's Leia, the neighbor's dog. Woo, woo, woo. And then that'll be the audiobook. So even if you miss it, that will be available for sale. I probably won't put it on Audible. I'll probably just put it up on Gumroad or something like that. So the videos will not stay on the YouTube channel. We'll just live stream them, and then I'll take them down and turn them into an audiobook. So that means that means half a day of editing instead of 2 months of editing. So I'm excited also to voice act live. I think a lot of people have never seen someone voice act live, and so I'm going to do all the techniques I learned in voice acting school over in my vocal booth in our house. And so it will be the real thing. Warts and all, coughing and crying and everything. Will you do some exercises on the stream or on Discord, getting like a general idea for us to role play and getting more hands-on experience with your models? And how soon will this start? So the book club is March. The book comes out February 26th. And so the book club starts March 2. So the book will come out on February 26th. Some of you might not have the book in time, but what I'm going to do is while I read it, the book will be on the screen as a screen share, like the way I do screen shares now, where it's like me and thing behind me. I'm just going to open up the PDF and I'll just share the PDF, and as I read it, you'll see it. So even if you don't have it yet. So that will start March 2. And like I said, it'll probably run for 5 or so weeks, however long it takes me to get through the whole book and take people's questions. Will there be exercise in the stream or in Discord? I'm not going to go through the exercises in the stream, and I wasn't going to put any exercises into Discord. Maybe once you see the book, you can let me know what you think about that. Most of the exercises in this book are either exercises you should run with your team, or they're really more like, I guess you could say, thought experiments. Like, hey, think about this for a moment. What would happen if you did this? What would happen if you did this? What's the difference between this and this? What do you think about this? And so they're kind of more reflection, critical thinking exercises than stuff with Miro boards. I think I only have 2 Miro boards that go with the book. The rest are really like, hey, stop and think about this for a moment. So, so I don't think I would probably have people do exercises, because it's not like Life After Tech, where I'm kind of walking you through a process of trying to find new work areas. This one's more like, let's just stop and think critically about something for a second. Hey, what do you think would happen if? What if we did this differently? What if we did it the same way? What if we did it this way? What do you think would have happened if? So it's a lot of those types of kind of reflection, critical thinking exercises. So the book has a whole bunch of orange boxes that say, try it. And then I ask you some reflection questions. I already know which one will be Ana Lucia's favorite try it box. I'm going to guess. I'm not going to say it yet. Let's see. After you read the book, you tell me which one was your favorite, try it, and I'll tell you if it's what I think. Any other questions about, for me, or about the book club or the book? Because I am still here. Let me write down that we talked about this. I'm curious now. Yes, I think... Yeah, there's a lot of great try-its. I think there's over 20 in the book. And I cut the book. I cut so much out of the book just to try to keep it shorter, noticeably shorter than Customers Know You Suck. It's about 20% shorter than Customers Know You Suck. And then there's a bunch of blue boxes that say story time. So if I have a wacky story to tell you about something that I went through or someone else went through, or a famous story or a headline, and I was writing the book up until last Friday. So some of the stories are from January 2026. They're very recent. I talk about Microsoft renaming 365 to Copilot, and a couple of other wacky things that essentially just happened. Samsung fridges running ads, so timely for now, but certainly if people read the book in a year, there's only so much I can do about that. So yeah, so there will be a book preview stream as our Tuesday show on February 17. I'll go through the table of contents. I will read you the first page. I am very excited about the first page. I feel like I work so hard on having a first page. By the way, special thanks to Charlene from the community, who said, I feel like the first page is out of order. Like, it's just not hitting me until halfway down the page. And she was right. And I reordered it. And now I feel like the first sentence is pow. I love to have a first sentence that just goes pow. Ana Lucia says, storytime moments are always one of my favorite things. We can learn a lot from examples. Yeah, one of my editors just finished the book a few days ago. And she said, I can't tell you how much I laughed and symbolically cried at a lot of those stories. So, yeah. KB says, this might have been in an email, but are pre-orders open? I've seen the content snippet emails. Okay, great. If you're in the Patreon, you've seen some of the previews. That's great. Amazon doesn't let you pre-order paper books. You can pre-order a Kindle from Amazon, but you cannot pre-order paper books. I don't know why they don't allow that. I would think they would make so many more sales if people who got excited about a book 2 months before it came out pre-ordered it. That you can only pre-order something, but if it's not printed by Amazon, like if I had printed thousands of them and put them in a warehouse, I think I could have done the pre-order. I don't know. Other companies allow pre-orders, but then you don't get credit for those sales on Amazon. And the more I can sell on Amazon, the more Amazon will recommend my book. So there's also kind of an algorithm thing here too. Basically, on the 26th, the book will be available in most of the usual ways. There are some I won't have ready yet, like the audiobook won't be ready yet, and the ability for bookstores to buy it won't be ready yet, but that'll come, these things will all come a few weeks later. But there will be PDFs and EPUBs on my website, dcx.media. There will be paperback and hardcover. Paperback will be grayscale, as always. Hardcover will be color. It's going to be really expensive. Amazon raised their prices for color printing. The book's going to be like $50. I don't expect anybody to buy it, but I'm going to make it available. And by the way, it has been specifically designed. I'm trying to pull something off my desk. It has been specifically designed to look awesome on a bookshelf next to the other two. So it's going to have a very similar spine with the same font and the author name and the Delta CX Media on the bottom. So it is the same size as these, though again, it's a little longer than Disruptive Research and a little shorter than Customers Know You Suck. So I think right now it's 270 pages at this size. Customers Know You Suck was 334 from memory. And Disruptive Research is 230 pages. So basically right between the lengths of these two, and will look lovely on a shelf next to them. So, the pre-order will be Kindle, probably as of when we do the preview show on the 17th. Right now I'm waiting to get the print proofs from Amazon. There's always mistakes on the cover that I have to fix. But we should be able to pre-order the Kindle as of the 17th, but then everything will be available on the 26th. I think Americans will get the book really fast. I think a lot of the Amazon printed books come in 2 or 3 days. I know in Europe, they tend to take a week or so, but that's fine. You don't have to have the book for the book club, because I will put it up on the screen as I'm reading it. Oh, here's an interesting question. I was thinking about offering the PDF as dark text on white, as it's always been, but this year doing light text on a black background, like a dark mode PDF. Do I need to do that? Does that help anybody? Would anybody want a dark mode PDF? I'm just curious. I mean, it won't take me that long to make it, but made me curious if anybody would want that. But anyway, I might just put it in the zip file with all the digital formats, like usually I do PDF and EPUB, and this time it'd be EPUB and 2 PDFs, one on a light background, one on a dark background. Would anybody want that? I don't know. Or do you can you go into a PDF program now and change things to dark mode? I don't know. I don't even know. Anyway, join us on the 17th for the preview show. I will be on vacation, so I hope the internet will be good enough for me to do the show from my laptop, from my new laptop. Hashtag bittersweet, new laptop. Any other thoughts or questions before we play some closing music and wrap up for today? I think a lot of apps have a dark mode. I don't use it. I'm not the right audience. Yeah, I don't know if you can open up a PDF and have it be dark mode. I see Pier Mario waving. Everything okay, honey? Cool. I don't know if PDFs have dark modes built in, let me know and I won't bother. Otherwise, might be cool to make a PDF with a black background and light text. Might be a neat thing to offer some people. KB says, from my experience, most of the native readers have a dark mode option. I'll have to play with that because I do have some colors in the book and I wonder what they do with the colors. I wouldn't want them to create a black background but then not change my dark blue to a lighter blue or my dark purple to a lighter purple, you know, because the book, if you ever see the color versions of my book, and some of you have, if you ever see the color versions of my book, there's color in the, like the headlines are blue and these call outs are purple. So I don't know if the dark mode will work with that. Ralitza says hi, Pier Mario. He's waving. Ana Lucia says, I'll check Foxit Reader on my tablet and let you know. Yeah, make sure you're working with a PDF. I think with an EPUB, that might, I don't know, tell me everybody all this stuff, EPUBs and PDFs, if dark modes work. I am a curious cat. All right. All right. Hey, what's up? Lord Culta. We're wrapping up the show, Lord Culta. So if you had a question, this is your last chance. Because I was just about to play the ending music because we've run a little bit late. We started just over an hour ago, but I'm here every Wednesday taking your questions. If you want to send in a question for next week, send it to dcx.to/Q. It'll come into my email and I will save it for next week. An email just came in, and is it from any of you? No, it is a spam phone call I missed. How sad. Ana Lucia says, oh, what is this? Yeah, hi, this is an Ask Me Anything, and I tend to specialize in helping people do their work better. What is this? How do you explain it? I like to say supporting wherever you're headed on life's and works paths, because a lot of the people in my community, we tend to work in the same area of technology. So I tend to help people with that. But then I also do a lot of work with startups and larger companies where I help startups and larger companies not suck so damn much. As per my 2022 book, Customers Know You Suck. So yeah, usually here I take questions and I just try to help people with whatever they're facing in life, whatever they're facing at work. I'm not a therapist, but I am somebody who knows a few things about work, and I'm now a life coach as well. So this show is whatever you make it. Lord Culta, if you have a question, please ask it. Foxit does have a dark mode, night sepia and eye comfort. Will it change? I wonder if it'll be smart enough to change dark text. Yeah. I'm working on my own startup. Yeah. Oh, that would be great. Yeah. My next book is called Atomic Product Market Fit. We would love to hear about your startup. Thank you for the follow, Lord Culta. Yeah, we would love to hear more about your startup. Feel free to join our Discord community if you want to. It's definitely a lot of people who are making lots of different life decisions right now, going into business for themselves or trying to get away from tech and corporate jobs. There's nothing for sale. It's free to join. I'm just trying to fill in all the usual questions people have. So again, there's nothing to sell you. There's no program. There's no, I hope people buy the books I write, but you don't have to. And other than that, there's no sales pitch. There's no spamming. And it's just a community of really nice people like these people here who support each other. These people have been in the community for years, and and I name drop a few of them in the new book to thank them for how much they inspire me. So we want to hear about your startup. So usually the show starts an hour before now and runs for about an hour. And you can always send in questions in the chat, or you can send them anonymously. They come to my email and I save them for the next show. It's every Wednesday. And that's that. So I'm going to turn on the let's end the show music. Relaxing but sad music. But okay, so thanks to everybody for making this a great show and discussion. This will be archived on the Delta CX Hive YouTube channel with the rest of them in the Q&A AMA folder. And let's see, tomorrow I'll be live with UX Tweak. That's in the Discord events if you want to join that. Optional. I already did it on YouTube. Next Tuesday's show won't be a show, will be in Discord. It looks automatic and not very smart. What looks automatic and not very smart? Oh, your Foxit reader. Okay, sorry. Yeah, and then I'm back next Wednesday doing more AMA. And if I pass my big exam on Saturday, there shall be a karaoke stream to celebrate. So that's the story. Welcome to Lord Culta, and good to see everybody else. KB, Ana Lucia, Ralica, and everybody else quietly watching on LinkedIn. I will catch everybody very soon. Thanks. See ya.